What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're kind of going to do a little bit of a tidbits video, but this is going to be mainly focused, and I'm going to try to get out a lot of shout outs now. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet, but y'all stick around. It's time to roll the intro. So it's been a very long time since I got a shout out video done, right? So I have over 20 shout outs to give, and I've kind of compiled them and held them up. This time I think I got it way in over my head. It's going to be really awkward to sit here and just spout off 22 names in a row, and a lot of this stuff has happened over the past month. So some of these comments and some of this stuff, I don't have the information for that right offhand, so I'm not going to be able to kind of sit down and talk in between each of these. But, you know, first and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to, you know, Jeff Jackson and Jacob Fryer and Mike Humphreys and Mike Parr. You guys have been really super awesome on the channel since forever, right? Since you guys found my stuff, it's just been great, okay? So I can really appreciate that, and I always appreciate you guys' input. And, you know, it's just kind of just that, you know. Some of these comments that you guys have left me along the way, it's kind of really kept me going and kept me trudging along and building this YouTube channel. So you guys have been just as much of the part of this YouTube channel as I am, right? Because you guys are helping along on the outside. You guys are, you know, doing everything that you guys do as coon hunters and as, you know, dog trainers yourselves. So, you know, big round of applause to you guys, man. And if you guys out there don't know these gentlemen, go over there and check out their channels, and a couple of them got a couple of YouTube channels rolling and stuff like that. So definitely give them a check, you know. So Jack Wolf, you're another one, man. You're getting up there. You're tuning in. I know that you're listening, and here or there you will have something to say, and I really appreciate that. And I want everybody to feel comfortable and feel free to say whatever you think on the channel. You know, I'm not a guy that is going to get mad or upset or anything like that. You know, I'm just somebody who I want to walk the line, you know what I mean? So if my channel gets out of pocket, or if I start spewing stuff that don't make sense, that is wrong, feel free, right? Because I want to make that space here on YouTube for everybody who does train dogs, who does hunt dogs, to feel comfortable to speak their piece, right? And I'm not ever going to just snap back and be like, oh, that's completely wrong, or you're completely wrong. You know, everybody has a certain way that they do things. Everybody has a way that they process information and put that out into the world. And if it makes sense for us, the more sense that it makes for us and the more sense it makes for our dogs, the better off we are, right? So Sean Craig, Nick at Nightlife, you're another. Really greatly appreciate all the input that you have came and put on the channel. I don't know if you keep up with the videos or you're just popping in every once in a while, but I really greatly appreciate it. And I tell you what, when I first got the first comment from you, I was about to throw a party, man. You know, because like I said, I've watched you on YouTube for a very long time. Your word carries a lot of weight in the coon hunting world, and whether that you know that or you acknowledge that or not, it really does. So it was like a huge relief to know that, you know, somebody who I've been looking up to, and a lot of people have been looking up to, and a lot of people have been taking their word from, is, you know, on the good side of me, right? And we're doing good. So I really appreciate it. Hey man, if you want to send me a Nightlife thing and put it up right there, I'd be greatly appreciate that. I got the license plate. This is my kitchen, and this is permanently put there. I screwed that in there to my kitchen cabinets because this is where my YouTube space is. So working on that, but you know, greatly appreciate it. Let's talk Dan Class. Kyle, I got these written down, and notorious, I can't read my own handwriting. So, Kyle Cooper, Brent New Jr., you've been around, you've had a lot of comments floating around here or there. HB Adams, Scattering Seeds, Jay Boyd, Jerry Friesen, Slew Hunter. I think I had you in a shout out in a couple of different videos, a couple of different times. Savage Mark, same thing for you. Cody Baird, Tatum Williams, you too, man. Crazy K, All Outdoors Life. Flood Zone Family Homestead, and John Porter. So these are all comments except for the last two. Some of them comments may have your channel name and or your name. It just depends on how I check these, right? So I check these through my analytics on YouTube Studio, and I have a comment section, and it'll tell me everybody who's commented. But then I also go into the YouTube app and check there, and it will tell me the same information, but sometimes it will tell me your name over here and your channel name on the other one, right? So I might double up some of those channel names with some of you guys, but don't sweat it, don't worry about it. I'm more than happy to do it. The last two were subscribers. Now it is so hard, and I started doing shout outs in the beginning to shout out new subscribers, and what ended up happening is a lot of people have their subscriptions set to private. So their subscription set to private. So I cannot even see who they are when they subscribe to me, right? And it's only very few far in between. And I've went 100, 200 subscribers and not had a single subscriber that had their subscriptions open, right? So if you guys are subscribing to the content, you guys might want to make sure your subscriptions are public so that I could go ahead and actually see that you were the person that subscribed, right? So that is one thing, and that bugs me because I really want to shout these guys out, and I really want to give you guys your props and your pat on the back for coming in and checking out the channel and doing the ultimate cool thing, which is subscribing to the content. So if you guys are just getting here, guys are just checking these videos out, or if you found me and we're kind of, pondering back and forth whether or not you want to subscribe, right here, I'll go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, and I'll get you shouted out. I don't think I'm going to save up as many as I just did again, but I'm going to start shouting out. I got to quit slacking on my shout out. So what I wanted to do too, on the side note of this, is what I wanted to do is just let you guys know the best advice that I could possibly give anybody, whether you are, a veteran in the game, whether you're brand new, whether you've been doing it for a little while, whether you have dogs or whether you don't have dogs or trained them before or not trained them. We have all these different walks of life that, are having interest in coon hunting or going to have interest in coon hunting. My best advice that I can give to anybody is, number one, coon hunting is going to take a little bit of everything you got, right? So and that's just how it plays out, and how much that you give to the coon hunting sport, and how much you give to training dogs, and how much effort and diligence and all this stuff that you guys put into this sport, the better off that you're going to be in the long run. And you might have mishaps, you might have bad things happen, you might have bad experiences, but if we tough those bad times out, then we have better ways to make good times, and we enjoy the good times better. So it takes a little bit of everything you got, and if you got a lot, you're going to take a lot, right? So it's kind of like another piece of advice that I would give everybody here is going to be, decide what kind of hunter that you're going to be, and decide how you're going to hunt your dog, because it is very difficult to get a hold of a dog and have this big bright idea that we're going to do XYZ, 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 and we go out and we start applying it, or we start trying to do this thing, and we start understanding, I have schedule restraints, I have only this many days available, the dog that I grabbed is more towards this. We need to gather ourselves and gather our thoughts, and once we commit to something, we need to commit to it, and we need to commit to our training process. We need to commit to, how much time, how much we're going to befriend a dog. Are we buying a dog just to train out, just to get rid of it? Are we having a dog that we want around forever? Because we need to be doing a lot of different things, a lot of different ways for a lot of different situations, and it all calls for a lot of stuff, right? And it all calls for a little bit of everything you have, right? So that's another piece of information, and another little bit of advice that I think I could give to somebody is, the more that we give to the sport, the more that we get out, and the more that we do it, and the more that we learn, the better off we're going to be, the better time we're going to have, and we'll be able to understand this up and down and this up and down, and we can really enjoy our high times and really understand that the bad times are going to pass, right? Because what can happen is some dogs, they'll take you on a roller coaster ride. They'll be really, really super good, and then really, really bad, and then really, really super good. And it's always down here is when we start putting them on the chopping block. Oh, I'm going to sell this dog. Oh, anybody want a coon dog? Or I'll give it away to a youth hunter, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. Especially these low times come hand in hand with the off season. So another piece of advice I could give to everybody is use our off season in the best way that we can. Okay, so that is really what we need to do. And whether that is exercising our dogs more, whether that is fixing our diets, whether that is really figuring out and tweaking our feed schedule, just doing what training that we can do. There's just so much stuff that we can do to be proactive in the off season, gathering all the properties or scoping out places to hunt. There's so much stuff that we can do to be proactive in the off season that makes us have a better season, right? So some places are always open for season, other places are not. So that just kind of pertains to you individually, right? And that's another piece of advice that I'm going to give you guys is anything that anybody says or any advice that anybody has to give you, retain it, right? So keep that in your memory bank, because if this guy comes up and he tells you, well, blah 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 blah, XYZ, this happens, blah blah blah, and we go try that and it's complete junk and it just really messes up our whole program, then we need to make note of those things, right? Or if a guy is giving us super bad advice and we know it's bad advice, then we just need to bank that bad advice as, okay, so this could be a possibility of what I run into when I get a hold of another dog or a strange dog or whatever. And we also need to just retain all the information, and we need to accept any information that anybody has to offer, because at the end of the day, like I said, more knowledgeable, good or bad, that we are, the better off we are in the long run. Now, and I've said it on a channel, I don't know how many times, guys, I'm not some huge, awesome hunter. I'm not some high profile guy out here just doing all the winning and running all the best dogs and doing all this stuff. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'm just an average guy who, loves coon hunting and love training dogs, and not just of the coon hound variety. Guys, I've trained quite a few different dogs of all types of different breeds. I've always had house dogs and just XYZ, you guys name it. And, I've kind of been around the block, and I've been around dogs my entire life, whether that be around people who are breeding dogs and breeding programs, or people that are hunting dogs, or just whatever that may have you. Just a lot to do in the dog world for a long time. And it's kind of bittersweet to be able to sit here and make these videos for you guys, and also on the same side of the ticket be in a position to where I don't myself currently have a coon dog, but I have had plenty of coon dogs, and they're not all the same, but they're all the same, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of just right there in that realm, and nothing feels better than to just give you guys the advice and give you guys the knowledge, because it's kind of like you go through all this process where you just keep all this stuff to yourself, and you think, oh man, I'm just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing. You just never know what you're doing. You never know if it's right. You never know if it's wrong. And then you just, okay, that dog kind of turned out this way. Let me try this way on this dog. And that dog kind of turned out this way. Well, let me try this on this dog and see how that one turns out. And you can find commonalities in between dogs. And that's all that my whole channel is kind of based on, is there's certain commonalities in these dogs that certain things just work, right? So certain things just work, and it's just kind of it's kind of what it is, right? And I don't know whether that is just them being coonhounds specifically or them being dogs in general, but there's commonalities in between these dogs that we can find, and there's reasons behind the commonalities, and there's also there's reasoning, right? That it's just reasoning. There's reasons behind everything. And that's what I'm here to try to give you guys, all the little tidbits of information that I have gathered or picked up. And some of this stuff is, like I've said before, can be this quick, and another thing, it could take you forever, right? So there's things that we can try, there's things that we can do, and there's things that we need to practice, right? So and I think maybe I'll do a video on that. If you guys want to kind of get down there in the comments and let me know if you guys want me to do a video kind of on that, where this is something that we should try a couple times to see if it works. this is something that we should definitely do and see if it works. And this is something that we should consistently always do across all things, because there is a lot of that. Because if we always have a consistent, we can throw little things at it here or there to tweak it and then keep it on that consistent path without doing too much damage or getting ourselves way too out there, right? So at the end of the day, you guys, I really greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys coming in and subscribing to the content. This was kind of a slow, off the cuff, put together video. My lists are horrible. I think I'm going to spend about 2 days on my handwriting the next time that I do this, because it takes me so long to read my own handwriting. It throws me off so bad. But that is it, guys. Y'all keep them treed.